Hello everyone and welcome to Mastering FX Level 2. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you guys will find this workshop very useful and informative. My name is Sabir Jalasi and I'm the co-founder of Rebel Way and your instructor for the next 10 weeks. I wanted to use this week to discuss everything that goes into making something like this. And I wanted to go into stuff that we generally don't talk about in terms of concepts, idea, hardware, requirements, and I wanted to point out that our team at Rebel Way is quite involved in creating visual effects for TVs, film, and commercial. And we have a setup, we have a small studio that is capable of producing high quality visual effects that you see in films and TVs. And we have the opportunity to use that same setup, the same equipment to create high quality trainings. And our goal from the beginning is to produce the highest quality training and show people what it actually means to work in production and what it actually requires to be able to produce something like this. And I'm going to talk about everything in this workshop. I'm going to talk about the hardware, I'm going to talk about storage, I'm going to talk about time, cost, and everything needed to produce something like this. There's also another thing that generally is left over or not talked about, is the idea, the concept that you're working on. Now, a lot of the skilled director or VFX supervisors, they have the skill where they can see something just written in text, and they can imagine it in a way that it's going to work on screen. That skill, unfortunately, is not something easy to teach. It comes with experience. And I'm going to share as much as possible with you guys so that you can have a good starting point to start to think about this problem where you have an idea that you will know it's gonna actually work. A lot of times you start something, you have an idea, you start something, but it doesn't look as good as you want it to be, or it doesn't have the feel that you're looking for. And that skill, unfortunately, comes with a lot of iteration and a lot of experience. Now, our team doesn't have a concept artist who is sitting and just doing visual R&Ds in 2D concepts where we can say, okay, I want to make these 10 changes, this is what I want, this is gonna look perfect in the final screen. We don't have that resource, so we do a lot of extra R&D in Houdini and in 3D to try and nail down the actual visual that is gonna work, the actual language. And as I said, this is something that requires a lot of iteration, a lot of experience, and you have to try some of your ideas. You have to test them out and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Not every idea we have is going to look fine on screen. This workshop itself, I have tried three different other ideas that didn't pan out. And I just dropped them and I stick with this. And I'm going to go into more details as to how this started and how I got here. And I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of this skill. It's not about Houdini. It's not about knowing how to do destruction or how to do simulation in Houdini. It's about what you're going to create and the visual and the storytelling that you're going to make. In this workshop, we're going to talk about the concept, we're going to talk about the behind the scenes, we're going to talk about CPUs, hardware, and things like that, time, cost, and then we're gonna break down the project into a couple of modules: destruction, smoke, rendering, particles, the magical effects, and then lava. And each one will have various problems. We're gonna list those problems and try to develop solutions in Houdini. And as we go, every time we do this, you guys will acquire new skills. You will see how we actually can solve that problem. And by acquiring all this knowledge towards the end, you should have a huge knowledge available at your disposal on how you can achieve creating or solving a complex visual effects problem. That means simulation, destruction, and also visual storytelling. It has to look good in the end. It doesn't matter how heavy the sim is, it doesn't matter how complex the setup for destruction is, it has to look good. And that's something that hopefully in the next 10 weeks will give you guys the next 10 weeks will give you guys enough chance to explore some of that. And again, in this week, we're just going to go over the various bits that we're going to cover in the next 10 weeks, give you guys some material to start working on, and then as we progress, we'll start going through the list and getting stuff done. Thank you so much for joining us and for supporting us, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.